So I kicked off the new year with an event called Vision 2020, which focused specifically on social entrepreneurship. And I had this thought to do this in mind, pretty much because I saw that there was a need to be able to provide foundational information to all business owners. With this particular event, I thought it would be a great idea just to gather a group of individuals who were interested in starting a business, who wanted to learn the fundamentals of what it means to be in a nonprofit, and then also, if you wanted to start a for-profit business, the pros and cons of each one as well. The first thing you have to think about is, going through the phase of concept phase and writing everything down as you want it to appear and you visualize as you want your business to grow. And then on the back end, what we did is we added in a portion specifically for discretionary funding and how you're able to pull that funding in or apply for that funding with the respective politicians that are currently in office. Right now, what I'm really focusing on is anyone who is looking to really try something different in the realm of starting a social entrepreneurship. I wanted to make sure that businesses, especially businesses of color, have that, resource and, foundation so that they could be successful long term. Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
So hello there. It is so good to have you join me on this journey of the entrepreneur. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am the owner of 11375, which is a business consultancy that helps to support businesses and to help them to deal with all this stuff, navigating stuff, documents, just understanding the processes in order to become the business owner that they dream of. At the heart of these conversations that we're having, it is really important, at least from my perspective, to really unpack what the journey of entrepreneurship looks like. So, no, I'm not a millionaire yet. Not yet. I'm not a billionaire yet. Not yet. However, when we are embarking on this dream and having the courage to step out from our 9 to 5, if you choose to do it full time, it does require a bit of consistency and it does not happen overnight. From this point, I've now been in business for 6.5 years, and it has had its ebbs and flows. But that doesn't mean that, I'm not going to be consistent, because the truth is I am banking on myself and also to looking to create a legacy for my little one who is really the CEO of this business. So that's the truth. So I have the distinct opportunity to bring in one of my really good sister friends who taught me all about Converse and all this other stuff. I really started wearing Converse because of this woman. I mean, because she has such great style and flair. But now she's also a full-time entrepreneur, and that brings me like chills, like super chills, because anyone who has the courage to step out, on faith, right? To transition from, having a steady flow of income. So if you know what that looks like, it's a steady flow, check to check, or whatever it is for you. It requires an immense amount of courage on your dream and your vision for yourself. But I've known Ebony for quite some time, so I'm really excited to have this type of conversation, and to really understand what she's doing now with her business. So, without further ado, because y'all gonna see all this goodness come to the stage. Hey, Ebony.
Hey, everybody. So excited to be here. And I mean, thank you for the introduction, Anita. Yes, so Converses and good lipstick.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, good lipstick, right? Look, you see, good lipstick, but see, I don't change my color. Ebony, I stick with one color, and that be it. I be trying to match shirts with the color. That be me.
It's a good color. It's
But
a good color. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, for me, I really stand on the backs of those I know that were courageous enough to do it first. And so, Anita stepping out after having, a little one was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now is the time when we just let it, we just jump out there. And I remember the very beginning processes with you showing us like possibilities of a logo. So you really brought your people sort of along for the journey, even in the very beginning stages. And so I definitely, took that, from you. And then I have another, friend who's a mom. Actually, most of the people I know who are entrepreneurs are moms. And so, to see that you can jump out, yes, when you have another mouth to feed, right? Because people get to look at me and go, yeah, it's real easy to jump out when you don't have, a child to take care of. But then I get to say, well, hold on now, right? Because my tribe, consists of many entrepreneurs who are moms, right? Who stepped out and decided that, that they were ready to create their own legacy, their own schedule, and create their own source of income. So, just starting out, want to thank you for being so transparent about your journey, because I think it really, I know it's helped me, and I know for sure it has helped, others in taking the leap and in being consistent. So thank you.
all right, so you trying to get me off? All right. Who cutting onions up in here?
What's that,
Who
TMS?
cutting, who cutting onions? Stop it. See, your friends be trying to get out your heart, and you wasn't expecting that. Let me, all right, stop the cutting of the onions, y'all. So let's talk about Ebony, right?
Mhm,
Like who
mhm.
you are, who you are at this level. Tell us a little bit about your background, because I didn't go in depth of like, your full bio, because you're so much more than what you put on this
Mhm.
bio here.
All right. So yeah. So Ebony Smalls, owner of Mindful Moves Coaching and Counseling LLC. Ebony's Mindful Moves Coaching and Counseling LLC. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, why that Ebony needed to be on the front, because something else important that I learned in business, right? So just, going back, I'm a social worker by trade. That's what I like to share, right? That's what my degree is in. I'm a licensed master social worker. And some people would say, oh, you want to help people. Yeah, but in a very strategic way, right? So I didn't get a degree just to help because anyone can help, but I wanted to be very strategic and intentional about what I brought to folks. And I've worked for a number of big, organizations as far as like nonprofits are concerned, and working with youth and families. And I was enjoying the work, and you would have never told me that I was going to step out and be an entrepreneur. Not in this way. That's just the truth. I worked for one place for 5 years, worked for another place for 8.5 years. And I started the business in the midst of all that, maybe about almost 3 years ago, right? When I decided, like, let me just give this a try. So I knew I would still keep my job. And I said, you know what? Mindfulness is important to me. Meditation is important to me. Bringing tangible mental health services and mental wellness to my folks is important to me. And that's what made me sort of step out. And I was just doing speaking engagements, running workshops and sharing the information that I had. And I was doing that, happily for a few years. And again, I said, I'm not ready to step out yet. My job it was paying me, decent money by my standards, right? It was the most money I had ever made when I stepped away. And again, it was a decision that, and in the beginning of the, like, sort of the intro to this show talks about, tears, talks about, struggle, talks about needing to lean on folks. And I'll say that when I made my decision, then I started sharing, right? But what came back from people was, it's the right decision, do it, don't look back, run, run, run. And I was expecting some people to be, very nervous, including my own mother, to tell you the truth, because I grew up traditional. You work, you stay at the same place for years, you do what you need to do. Hopefully they allow you to retire there. That was sort of it. And hopefully they allow you, because most people I know have been laid off at least, once or twice from a role, right? So it's really them allowing you to retire in the space, right? And that was sort of what I grew up with. And so I was shocked at how supportive everyone was. Now, I keep a supportive tribe around, so not that I expected hate or I expected nasty words, but I did expect fear, and I did expect angst on my behalf. And so many people were like, we trust that you have a vision for yourself, and and we're here. And that is sort of what led me, on this journey. And I
And
know I didn't share
we
you.
wasn't gonna let you starve, that's for sure. You gonna
You
eat.
you know what? And I gotta mention the starving thing, because that's actually like my running joke, right? Is like, maybe I'm gonna have to, start, ending up on the street selling a little extra, doing strange for change. And I would, say that joke, but so many people, the first thing they said is like, well, what you not gonna do is starve. I have a friend who's also like a chef, and I remember telling her, one of the first people, because I was going over her house to pick up things that I'd purchased from her, and she goes, listen, if times get tough, I'll send you some meals. And I was like, oh, okay, right? And to hear that, right, from people saying like, we don't want it to get so tight that you say I have to go back because things are tight. Not yet, right? Folks are like, give it some time, right? And let's see how we can come together as a village. And I haven't had to tap in. I haven't starved yet.
No.
Um,
You ain't gonna starve ever, like,
and I am, and I'm very thankful. And I'll wait till Anita asks more questions so I can go deeper into like exactly what I do, why I do it. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So no, you ain't gonna starve ever, because your tribe gonna, we got you. So you started this business. What was your why?
I started Mindfulmoves because I wanted to do work with my friends. To be completely honest, I was I was working for a foster care agency, like I said, for 8.5 years. And so you can support your people if they get into like a bind around foster care specifically, right? And you can give information. But how else was I to support my friends with my social work degree, with my, with me being a clinician, with me being a supervisor? How could I actually support my friends, And I was volunteering for an organization, and these were such powerful professionals, right? They were, helping to run this org. And then they were, working their corporate jobs, working their nonprofit jobs, and kicking butt at doing all these things, but they were tired. And then they would disappear, right? So you'd meet someone, they'd have zeal, they'd be giving you all they got. We 8 months in, to the year. And then you're calling them like, hey, I thought you were showing up to said event. Oh, I thought you were, oh, are you coming to the committee meeting? And they were burnt out. And people would show back up and be like, I was tired. I was stressed. I had a mental health issue, a mental health struggle, and I would hear these things and be like, why don't we feel comfortable telling each other, right? Because folks would just disappear. They wouldn't even tell people. We'd have you'd have a co-chair, you'd have a team, and people were just like, radio silent. And that's when I realized, like, oh, no. Mental health, right, is a conversation that doesn't just need to be had for people who have signed up for services. That this is a conversation that my peers, although I think they know, right? Because I was going to know this group of people, they have an understanding of when to check in and when to check out and when to communicate. And I realized, like, no, it's all of us. And so Mindful Moves came out of wanting to share tangible wellness practices with my peers, with those that look like me, with those that I've befriended, right? And that was really just it. I knew that I was using tools to stay sane at my job when my job was kicking my ass, right? And I said, how can I support others in staying on track? And I started calling it the next level of self-care, the next level of wellness. Because I was beyond talking about manis and petties. These people knew how to do that. They was going to get their manis and petties. They were going to the spa. They were working all the time, getting a massage, here and there, right? But that inside, right? Did they know how to calm themselves at work when things were getting crazy? Were they meditating regularly? Again, some people are going to the gym all the time, but that is not that's a portion of your mental wellness. Like if you are working out, the endorphins cause this, but how were you really working on that mind-body connection, and specifically the mind? And I just wanted to start talking about it, start sharing it, start talking about why meditation is important, why breath work is important, why being kind to yourself and affirming yourself is important, even when you don't initially believe it. And so, my why came out of, I want to be there for my friends in a very tangible way. And my why came out of, how to keep myself sane, right? Because it starts with you, right? And I knew that I was trying things, and I was like, let me try it with other people, and let me let them know what I'm trying over here, because people are used to me smiling and used to me feeling good. And truth is, that takes work on my end, right? And so I wanted to be able to share the things that kept me smiling.
That's pretty dope. So, what did your startup cost look like?
So hard. So I mean, I had zero money, right? So I mean, zero money meaning, like, it's not like someone gave me a loan, so I used my own money.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I definitely prided myself on that, right? Like, I can pay for this. Why? Because I have a decent job, right? So I can buy all the things I need to start. And initially, I was just serving and selling myself. So what did I need? Cute outfits, like that's all I needed before the pandemic, right? Was
Mm-hmm.
cute outfits. And then I would go out into the streets and talk to people. That was really what it was. And then I decided to host a conference. And that's where the first amount of money, started to really, roll in of, I need to step and repeat. Now, again, I'm used to volunteering for organizations. I'm used to, participating in, in wellness. Again, worked for a company for 8.5 years, started quite a few programs, but I'm like, oh, these are things that, I have to pay for, right? I'm used to standing in front of someone else's. And then, starting to calculate, those costs, right? And so again, those came out of pocket. Or again, my tribe was great, because I people just be like, oh, I can pick this up for you, or I can get this. And that was so helpful. So, for that conference, I did also sell tickets very cheap, and but I did want to do way more. And I remember friends like Anita and friends being like, you cannot be serving people. I wanted to serve people full plates of chicken, rice, forgive me. I have a church background. Most people don't know that. So I'm like, what? We people coming over. We gonna serve them chicken, rice. We gonna spend all this money. So I wanted to spend money on food. I had speakers, I had a bunch of things. And the conference was very successful. But what was so helpful to me was my people keeping me in line saying, girl, do not first of all, I wanted to cook too. But y'all don't want to know about that. I wanted to cook, not even just purchase, because I'm used to serving my people. So something that I also had to learn was about business, friendship, right? Hosting an event for your business, hosting an event for your loved ones. Now, the recipe, there's similar recipe for, for both, but I had to really pay close attention to how that money was going to be spent, right? And so, everyone knows, like, my people come over, I feed them.
And we eating good. That's
I've
the
had
thing. We eating real
Sunday,
good. It's
plenty of
seasoned.
Sunday dinners,
We
right?
come in with plates and all that stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, so
But I
we
had to be
know.
careful, right? And so those startup costs, I'll say, like, it was hard for me to even track how much I spent for the conference. Thank God for my accountant, because I just started tracking all that more recently, right? Again, how to become a better business owner, which
Yeah.
I'm sure, we'll get into. So initially, I just know that people bought tickets. I spent some money, probably broke even, right? Like, period, right? Good news is I got my space donated to me by the place that I worked at. So yes, I started a business and got my space donated by the place that I had a 9 to 5 and asked, can I host a conference here, right? So that helped to offset the cost. And I'll say, now the way I pay attention to the finances is crazy. But again, also have people in my life that are like, so, and what I really gave myself, when I really think hardcore numbers, at some point I gave myself a $4,000 loan out of my savings account. I went into it and then opened up another bank account at another bank across the street, Black owned bank, and decided that I would then that is how I would make sure to watch the money coming in and out. Because before, I had just had one account. I spent a full year and a half with just one account. And again, I was like, yeah, but I know what comes in and out. That's not a problem. No. So I gave myself a $4,000 loan that I was able to pay back to myself over the course of these, 3 years of being in business.
Now, I want to highlight something just really, really quickly, the importance of separating your personal and your business finances. When you are first starting up, if you choose to become um, a solopreneur, or an LLC, a
Mm-hmm.
sole proprietorship, or an LLC, even if you start as a sole proprietor, um, please separate your account. You can get an EIN number for free, the irs.gov.
Mm-hmm.
Separate your business expenses and your personal. Get into the practice so when you start to grow, that you'll know, oh, okay, these meals go on this in this bucket.
Yep.
This expense goes here. That is hugely critical, and it will save you a lot of headache. It will save you, you'll be more organized. But more importantly, you'll have the confidence in knowing that going into whatever next level that you're going into, you'll be prepared because oh, okay, those shoes, maybe perhaps not a business expense, maybe perhaps, so that's really
Absolutely.
important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Absolutely. And yeah, and I'll just take a deeper dive into that part, because again, I'm still, new to all of this. And so I had no problem separating the accounts. But then I realized my account wasn't a business account. So I went into the bank, right? Started out with, I need another account. I need a business account. Of course, they wanted my business. But, they were like, yeah, you can just bring your documents later. I bring my documents way later because I'm thinking it's fine. It's a separate account anyway, right? As long as I have a separate account, it doesn't matter. But then I realized it's not a business account.
Mm,
And that means that I have to open up another account, because you
mm.
cannot just transfer your personal to a business account. So when I tell you, me and the banks that I'm a part of, have so much conversation, so many fights, because I'm like, but what about this? And you didn't tell me about this. And not every company has Zelle, not every bank has Zelle for business.
Right.
And so all of those things, are things that, again, I'm used to selling myself. right? I'm like, I got this. Then I created a product, which you'll talk about. But it was my accountant that talked to me about being a administrator in my business. Like, explaining to me that I am more than just the person that shows up. Like, I am the administrator. And when you work for someone else, you are used to someone else cutting your check, managing the budget, doing all of those things. Yes, I managed a large budget before, meaning I had a large staff, but the truth is, payroll wasn't going to let me do nothing. Like, accounting at my job wasn't going to let me do nothing that wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They were going to make sure, right? They have a law team, right? They were going to make sure that there were checks and balances, right? I've been called to the table to talk about a budget at work, but I didn't have to deal with whatever mishap took place. It's true. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, that's someone else's job. But in my business, now it's making sure that I have the right account. Now I'm checking things like, why y'all charging me for a paper statement when I get my statements online, right? I'm looking at $3, y'all. When I had a job, I'm telling you, $3 could have been missing every month. I would have never noticed. But I look at that business account like, oh, why I'm being charged $3? Because I remember what goes in and what goes out. What I know is that I didn't make no $3 charge. There's nothing I'd be charging, right? For that much. And so really the accounting part, which again, my accountant will tell you, like, I am still not good at. I am in the process of filling out my schedule. See now, because I sent him all of the expenses over the past few years. And he looked and goes, and you want me to do what with this? Like, you need to put this in the proper order. Like, and I'm like, why? He goes, because you will know that this is your business. And one day you will grow. Right? I don't want to remain a small business forever. Right? And so I've really, had to take to the parts that I don't love. Right? I even text him the other day and say, yo, I will pay you to sort everything. Just please do it. And he said, again, you can do this, right? So, that's what happens, Black accountant, a friend who, straight up is like, I want you to know where your money is going. I want you to know how to fill out these forms. I want you, to have an understanding. And in the end, I am thankful for that. Annoyed at times, if you saw the text exchange, but grateful and thankful that people believe in me enough to say, like, you can handle this part. And this is the part that you need to pay attention to now, so that as you grow, people won't be able to pull the wool over your eyes. They won't be able to be moving things around, telling you they filed for this, filed for that, or they didn't file for the proper things, on your behalf. So yes, that part is so important. I'm learning that. That's sort of the biggest lesson in my business that I'm learning every day, is just, to pay attention to those things and make sure that you have the proper team around you. You need an accountant. You need a lawyer friend. You need, right? You need to pull in on all those people, that to be able to support you as an entrepreneur.
So, we are coming up on our time. And so I want you to, because you do have and you got to come back though, because this conversation is a part two, but it looks like we unpacked the importance of, really paying attention to your fees, your startup costs, what is your finances, and don't be afraid to get into that space with your business. But you do have products that we love, right? Let me see if I can find mine. Oh,
So, yes, look at
I
that.
got one of the original ones.
You do have one of the original ones.
I have one of the original ones.
Yes. So yes, what Anita is holding up is my product called Mindful Jar. And every mindful jar comes with a stress ball in it. But what's most important outside of the stress ball are the prompts that come inside of the mindful jar. The mindful jar was created to give us reminders about the things that we're doing good. Because mindfulness is not about blame or shame. It's about being present, and it's about being kind to ourselves, right? Reminding ourselves how great we are. So there's certain prompts that come in the jar. One says, a situation that seemed tough that is now not so tough. And some people ask me, like, why do you have, this question? Because there's so many things I didn't do because I thought they would be hard, right? I thought they would be too difficult for me to complete. And so this card means a lot to me because it allows me to think of what is something that you actually thought was tough. And once you actually started, you realize I could do this. We need these cards, right? So that you can actually take stock in that. So that when you're back in that situation, you can look at this card, you can look at your response. I make sure that they're blank on the back so that you can share that time. So that time where I thought it would be quite difficult to do my taxes, or I can't wait to write that one here, right? And then I realized that now that it's all in order, right? That it's not the worst thing ever, right? And so there's cards like that. There's other, even cards that are a little more simple. And this one says, what did I do to take care of myself today? And then I give examples, right? So I don't leave you out there on your own. I give some examples of some things because this is about praising yourself. This is about affirming yourself. And the mindful jar comes in couples, just in case you got a boo and you want to be able to do this with them. And the mindful jar comes for individuals. And I have one specifically for the babies, for the youth. And that one allows you to sit at the table, to sit on the couch, to sit anywhere, pull out a question and learn a little bit about what things are happening with them during the day. It asks them about their feelings. It asks them about their emotions. It asks them even about, like, hey, were you kind to someone, today? Were you able to help someone? Or what are some changes you want to see, in the world or at home, right? So giving them that voice to be able to share. And so mindful jar, yep. So that's one product. And the new product that I've come out with just in November is called Mindo. And so this one has rose petals in it, a big rosebud in the middle, and rose essential oil. And then the other big seller that we have is a vanilla lavender Mindo. And what do you do with these things? Wow. We've seen, silly putty. We've seen adult Play-Doh. These are similar things that you can bring to work, things that you can use on your commute. I know Anita might have been in some traffic yesterday. Mindo's helpful for those moments, right? And you just need it. And as you're needing it, the smells are going to arise. I also have a peppermint one, right? So lavender is supposed to be a common scent. So you have lavender oil and you have real lavender leaves in here. And you're just needing this. You're just, putting your focus into this. You're grounding yourself in this. Things are crazy at work. Things are crazy at home. And you just have something that you could put your focus on. Things are going to be all right. Things are going to be okay. And no staining. They're made out of a therapeutic putty, actually. That's good for hand strength as well. So double whammy, since we're always doing this, always, typing on our phones, right? So this increases our hand strength and helps with our carpal tunnel, all the while giving us something to sort of, play around with, something to ground ourselves and focus on. So those are the two products that I'm selling, that I will be also selling throughout the holidays. I'm very excited to bring this dough to you. I had a vision for it for quite some time and could not get the consistency together. So something else that I'm not, used to, right, is there's trial and error when you're thinking about a product to sell. So even Anita saying that she has the original, right? The cards look a little bit different now. The logo is a little smaller now, right? Because there were so many things to sort of tweak and say, like, what do I really want this, to look like, right? And so, yeah, those are the products, and we'll be selling them on my website. Actually, I believe they're already actually up there. So now I will be selling them. The jars have been up there, and I'm pretty sure that I placed the dough up there already.
Yep, it's there. So I want to, just plug that you can get these jars on Ebony's mindfulmoves.com /shop. Um, Please, as I, always emphasize, right? Referrals within ourselves and supporting us during our process, just like you support and stay online for Black Friday and all these other things. It means a lot more when you support the vision and the dream of a business owner, specifically women, Black owned businesses. So, on that note, I want to do end out the show what I call some rapid fire one word questions. One word, just so that we can kind of get some insight more on who you are, and to set us up for when you come back, because this conversation is way too short. But we know we're more than happy to have you come back and expand. So I'm excited about that. So what's your favorite borough?
Brooklyn. Don't
See,
tell the Bronx where I'm from.
what do you do in your downtime?
Rest, sit.
What's your favorite, pizzas or burgers?
God, love both. Burgers, burgers with everything. Anything you could add on a burger, I want it.
Smoothies or ice cream?
Ice cream, milkshake specifically.
Mm. In 3 years, what will you change within your community?
This is 2 words, but tangible wellness.
Mm. What is the legacy that you'd like to leave for your family?
Kindness.
Mm. All received. So thank you, Ebony. Please make sure you all check out Ebony's mindfulmoves.com. Ebony is on IG and does, guess what? Have meditations every single Sunday. So make sure you follow Ebony on Instagram, on all the fun social platforms, and make sure that you check out the website for those wonderful, wonderful jars. So, Ebony, thank you so much for coming to the show. I'm going to see you again. And obviously, I can't sing, but I'm going to see you again really soon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you.
So what really makes this amazing is that we have the opportunity to be able to share, with my sister friend, because Ebony is not just, an entrepreneur. She's actually one of my really, really, dope sisters in my tribe. So, but I always got some goodies for you, sharing some information about some grants that I am aware of that you can take advantage of if you have your documents in order as a small business. So, I always say, you got to have the foundation set in order. So, LegalZoom, right, has LegalZoom.com, fast breaks for small businesses. They do have an opportunity for you to be able to capitalize on these grant situation. There it is, the link right there. Check it out. NAACP, they have another set of grants for you. NAACP.org, find resources /grant. Dove Chocolate has a pitch competition that's happening. Please take advantage of it. There's money out there, y'all. So please take advantage of this stuff that is being presented. And there's a lot more, but these are the ones that I've recently discovered. ubs.helloalice.com. Definitely another resources that you can take advantage if you are a small business owner. The usblackchambers.org has a certification that you can go through to promote your business. Again, these are resources. A lot of them are no cost, free to you. You just have to take the time to put your information in. We have the local chambers of commerce within the 5 boroughs of New York City and also upstate New York. So please, again, these are multiple resources that you can take advantage of. And finally, 11375 will be featuring small businesses for the holidays. If your business is interested in participating, please complete the link by November the 19th, so that we can share your organization throughout the holidays, because that's what we are doing, sharing information of other small businesses that we know. And finally, so oftentimes, people want to hire me as a coach. And then I do charge for my coaching services. But however, I do understand that as a small business, that sometimes you may not be able to afford or have anything as a startup. So this is how you can book me for free. But please note that I only book score on Fridays. And so, if you have to wait a bit, I'm worth the wait. However, if you want to see me sooner outside of Score, then obviously you would have to, pay the services and you can get on my calendar a little bit sooner. So, on that note, I want to thank you all for taking time to support this journey of the entrepreneur. It is real. And what's so amazing is that we're going to have Ebony come back because Ebony has a lot to tell. She has another lot of stuff to tell. So, thank you so much for joining. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.